you know, getting back to the US agent, right? You know, we got The Boys, right? The Boys is popular. I hadn't watched it. I watched the first season. I watched like 1 or 2 episodes in season 2. I hadn't watched it since. I don't like. I mean, we got all the superhero stuff out. People want rated R this, rated R that. A lot of people like to. I don't have a problem with violence and stuff. Like, I've been watching Invincible. To me, Invincible is better than The Boys. If I heard the rumors that there might be a live action Invincible. I hope they do it, and I hope, and I don't have any like ill will against anybody working on The Boys. Like I said, with a lot of these superhero projects and stuff, it's usually a lot behind the scenes stunt people. You know, not the main director, but the other people lower down the chain. A lot of the same people working on these projects, man, especially in the stunt community, right? So I'm like, you know, people who get to pretend to be superheroes, something they were doing, you know, like I would love to get in something like that, because I know I was running around jumping out of trees and everything else, you know, pretending to be Rambo and Ninja Turtles, all these other people, you know, cartoons and comic books that I, you know, liked, admired, spent a lot of time and money on, toys, you know, playing with, you know. But I was, you know, I don't know what kids do now. I don't know if there's any kids who go outside and pretend to be their favorite character in the video game, or if they just, well, why go to this place called outside when I could just continue to stay inside and play the video games? I don't know if that's how it is, but you know, that's what I did back in the 80s and the early 90s, way back when. Feels funny saying that. But there's been a lot of buzz, and this guy's like Homelander. He's like Homelander. I'm like, no, Chris, no, Chris. If my brother's listening, he'll get a kick out of that. If you're cool, you'll catch that reference. Michael Jackson and Chris Tucker. Go to Netflix and watch Chris Tucker's special, because I have a feeling a lot of y'all didn't catch what I just said. It's pretty funny. If you don't, you don't have to watch it, but you know, if you want a good laugh, watch Chris Tucker's special on Netflix. No, Chris, no. And then every time that I've said that, you'll go back and watch a video and you'll catch the joke. The rest of y'all, if you don't, oh well, you just be out of the joke, because it's not like I'm gonna stop saying it. Anyway, I'm like, he's like Homelander. No, Chris, no, Chris, no. He's not like Homelander. Homelander's a fucking bad guy, right? Homelander's going, I'm sorry if I'm going to spoil The Boys for you, but, you know, I go on Wikipedia because I'm trying to figure out what is this I'm watching, and Batman rips Homelander's head off, right? Kills him, right? Because he's he's Homelander's clone. He's got all the same powers. Maybe The Boys, the TV show, has changed that. I don't know. I think I saw something about he regenerated or something, or got burned and wasn't injured, and it was like, Batman ain't got that power, right? Homelander's a bad guy, right? He's literally, what if you had somebody, because I can't say Superman because I'm convinced Superman will beat the brakes off of Homelander, right? But what if you had someone of Superman's level, but he didn't have the Kents? He didn't have that upbringing, you know? And I feel like it's a big question of nature versus nurture. Like, well, I'd like to think that at the end of the day, Kal-El is still a good person and not a complete douche, right? But Homelander is Homelander, from what I picked up on. Like I said, I haven't watched all of season 2, but I feel like, you know, the fake Captain Marvel wannabe alt-right lady, she was a worse villain than Homelander, and people loved her, and he was like, you can't have that. I gotta be the center of attention, right? That's not John Walker. John Walker's not that, right? Even in the comic books, it's like he's under the pressure of trying to live up to be Steve Rogers, and he's not. And you know, I saw articles about his hero arc doesn't work. Well, exactly, it doesn't work because he's trying too hard to be Captain America and do everything by the book and be perfect. And he can't, because he's not that guy. He's not that dude. He's got his own flaws. He's not Steve Rogers, right? That's the whole, it's not supposed to work. Like I'm reading this, I'm like, what the fuck you mean it doesn't? It's not supposed to work. He's not supposed to work. That's why in the end, he gets stripped of being Captain America, everything renewed, you know, and then in walks this lady who's supposed to be like a Nick Fury, you know, Elaine from Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Elaine from Seinfeld, Elaine from S.H.I.E.L.D. walks in and is like, we don't need a Captain America, we need a US agent. And at that point it's like, yo, this is who you are, you need to accept it and play that role, and I'm gonna help you, right? Because I'm convinced there's something else coming here, right? We got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It would have helped if we had gotten, you know, if we hadn't had, you know, what happened, if we had gotten these stories in the order that they were supposed to come out in, we would have already had the Black Widow movie. I think Black Widow is going to dive into, I don't know anything about the wannabe Captain America guy. If he was just, you know, a dude they trained up to be, this is like our Captain America. He literally had super soldier serum, or he had a version of a bootleg version of it, right? Like you know, Payless sells to Jordan shooting the layup instead of dunking, right? Be like Mike, it's be like Ike. Be like Psych and them Bobo Jordans. I don't know, what's his name, Red Guardian, something like that. I don't know what his deal is, but I think that movie was going to introduce some other plot that we would have seen. This is why we got this mysterious, you know, Madam Hydra. I don't think she's a Madam Hydra. I think at that point she's just working for S.H.I.E.L.D. because why would she be, you know, she knows about everything. I just don't think that they're ready to reintroduce Hydra yet. You know, maybe Hydra could have become active again during the blip, but I just don't, you know, I think right now they're just going to leave it at Strucker for now. Even though he's got tremendous resources. Yeah, for all the resources that he had, he didn't have a lot of resources, if you get me, right? It seemed like there's new players that have stepped up since Hydra. But you know, she comes in. I think that her place, I think that whole, what she was doing with John, introducing him as the US agent, will make more sense after we've seen Black Widow. I think that they're building up multiple stories, multiple plot points, right? Multiple arcs, just like comic books have. You know, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's Marvel, right? We had the Infinity Saga, and there were all these other little origin stories. But everybody's story in the end kind of led up to, you know, Thanos. But at the same time, they introduce other stuff, right? Iron Man 3 introduced Mandarin, the real Mandarins out there. And now we're going to see it in Shang-Chi, right? Where there'll be something that connects it to Iron Man and everything that was going on there with the fake Mandarin. and it'll tie Shang-Chi's origin story to that, right? We know Blade is coming, Mahershala Ali. What is Blade doing? Is he just running around fighting vampires? Well, how does he connect to the rest of this world, right? Is there going to be another season of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Then what are they doing? Are they still dealing with the power broker? Now she's part of SHIELD, right? So she can continue to build up her base and her power structure. Maybe that's what they're, is that Sharon Carter? Like, what is she really fighting? Is she just trying to build up power for the sake of building up power, the power broker? Or is there something that she's trying to fight, a faction or some growing threat? And we didn't really get to see it because we had Sam and Bucky running around dealing with these kids who got their hands on Sharon's super soldier serum, right? So I think there's a bigger story, a developing story, and somehow they'll tie everything together because it's Kevin Feige. He knows what the hell he's doing. It's people behind these comic books. It's like, well, what if we like have all these little, before we had these individual characters, but now we got characters introduced and we've done all the world building stuff, and now it's like, well, Thanos came and did this in the Infinity Saga, and then they brought everybody back, and we basically hit the reset button, but we've still got all this other stuff. So we don't have to spend time world building now, right? We know there's a Doctor Strange, and we know that there's a multiverse, right? And you can use mysticism and magic to get there, or you can use science. There's the quantum verse and the quantum realms, and you can use quantum technology to time travel and maybe go to these alternate timelines. And then and then with the Tesseract, Loki is what is travel? What is it? What are the possibilities of places you can travel with the Tesseract, right? So so Bucky and the Time Police, I think that's the next series coming in a few weeks, or next month. I don't know. Well, that would be a few weeks. 4 or 5 weeks. Maybe I'll be done with my GMB stuff by then. So maybe Loki doing the time travel sheds more light on, I think there's going to be like some kind of Earth threat, some kind of multiverse threat, and then something that's like even bigger that the Eternals could introduce, right? Because now, we're going back and we're doing the Eternals, and they've been reincarnating, and every time they reincarnate, they got to learn about their powers and who they really were, and this and that. And we're gonna start to find out about Celestials and these cosmic beings, and then who can deal with them? Well, Carol Danvers. It's like Captain Marvel's gonna become a more important character. Somebody powerful enough to deal with these, whether people like her or not.